Hello, my name is Marika Mentula. I'm based in Finland, Helsinki, working for Nokia, leading business for network infrastructure in North Europe. The networks are actually becoming much more like active systems and not just passive pipes as they used to be in the past. So when the traffic is interactive and uplink heavy, the network can't just, forward or the packets blindly. So what is the shift? So it goes from the traditional transport fabric into a performance orchestration layer. And what does that actually mean? So there will be real-time awareness of the application intent, like whether the application is designed for inference, for training, for control, and then dynamic path selection based on latency budget and not on hop count. Then the result of that the network actually participates in the AI workload, and the decisions of the network move from these endpoints into the fabric. And there's going to be a massive rise of east and west and uplink traffic because AI agents actually don't behave like video streams. The networks of today understand the video streams super well, but the new traffic pattern will be many-to-many agent communication, bursty uplinks from sensors and machines, and short and very frequent latency-sensitive messages. Once latency becomes unpredictable, not just high, but also variable, the whole classes of AI interactions stop working. So this is a super critical thing. I think the core issue here is that humans and machines are latency detectors. So humans notice jitter before they notice delay. Control systems become unstable under the variable feedback. And then safety systems are assuming bounded response times. So anything that depends on these tight feedback loops will break first. What works today is that there is a turn-based chat, there's async voice assistants, there's ask, wait, answer flows. And then if you think about it, humans expect about 150 to 250 millisecond round trip for conversational flow. At physical AI and embodied agents is requiring that control loops have predictable response times, not just fast averages. And once latency spikes, the robots will hesitate, the machines will not only stop, but also maybe overcorrecting. And, at scale, centralized cloud then becomes a liability and not an accelerator. Telcos have built-in trust, identity, and regulatory standing. And this is really widely underappreciated today. So telcos already verify identities at the network layer, they meet lawful intercept, emergency and safety requirements, they operate under national sovereignty regimes. And for AI, what it does is that enables a verifiable agent identity, a jurisdiction-aware inference, and compliance by construction and not add-on. And actually sovereignty is becoming a feature and not a constraint, because AI touches critical infra, healthcare, defense, industrial systems, and all these governments will require the data to reside locally. They require predictable control paths, auditable behavior, and telcos seriously are just naturally and structurally aligned with this. Keeping AI inside national networks doesn't just change a deployment architecture. It actually changes who is accountable, who has leverage, and what trust even means. So the governments will stop asking where is the data and should be asking who enforces the rules. So So that's a completely new type of discussion. The enterprises will stop thinking this kind of vendor risk and start thinking infrastructure class, like for regulated industries, energy, rail, healthcare, defense, and finance. And then policy becomes programmable at the network layer. And the sovereign grids actually change the resilience narrative. And of course, for governments, this is existential because of the possible cyber conflicts, any national disasters, and supply chain disruptions. I think that operators need to stop optimizing for traffic and start optimizing for outcomes now, not somewhere post 5G or once the AI demand is clear. And I think here's what forward-leaning telcos should be doing in the next 12 to 36 months if they really want to join to the AI value stream. First of all, I think they should think of carving out the network into performance products like Act Now, turn latency, jitter, uplink into sellable products. And then also they should think of making the networks policy aware, not just traffic aware. So should build the capabilities in enforcing data locality and jurisdiction by default, bind identity, be it human, agent, or device into network behavior. The operators should really integrate cleanly with cloud and be the execution and enforcement layer the cloud really can't be, and own the last mile SLA and liability boundary. And then I think the pricing should be aligned with the AI economics and not just the legacy ARPU thinking, because the AI value is really outcome driven. So prepare for usage tied into inference events, pricing on SLA compliance, not just the megabits per second, possibly even revenue sharing with certain kind of application and model providers. I think the priority should be to really think about a couple of items. Typically, telcos today are having challenges with CapEx. The ability to invest into new things is pretty limited. So rather than building your own, they should think about partnerships. The other thing which should be happening at the same time is this cultural shift from becoming this kind of traditional bit pipe into something which is catering for future, for AI workloads, for pricing, like I mentioned. I think there's a big cultural shift for all the telcos. And I think this is a right moment because for a decade, I think there's been a shrinking of the market or, at best it's been flat. This is the time for telcos to play, and there's a right to play as well. And partnering with, for example, Nscale would probably allow a telco to, first of all, participate to the market, make money in the market, and then become great again.